So we're looking at the benefits of working this way, and I'm in Photoshop right now, and I've been patching over parts just to see just how easy it is working with a smooth undistorted UV. You can see here how we've managed to actually put this over. I'm just going to show you the technique that I've been using to do this, because I thought I was recording this but I wasn't. We go over to a area here, Control and D deselects anything that we've currently got. We select the lasso selection tool. I'll just show you which one I'm selecting, the lasso one, and we just select an area that we wish to use as skin. So for instance, the next logical piece would be this bit here. So I'll come over here like that. We copy, Control and C, go into here, Control and V. We can turn on this universal scaling, but I'm just going to scale it like this for the minute, and then we move it over to the area. We can choose to rotate it if need be, and we fit it in the best that we possibly can. And then what we do is when we apply this, what we've done, we go to our image editing, transform and warp, and this enables us to actually move this skin. It's a good idea to work with a different opacity so you can see the edge flow behind here. So I'm going to make sure that these lines are going to go with the edge flow. That's pretty good. And that's just take this opacity back up again. Click on that and apply it. Now we need to patch this in now for the areas that don't fit too well. So to patch it, we have to first merge the layer so it can merge with the other layers that we've got. So we're going to Control and click, or Shift click over here, right click on either of them, click on merge layers. Only merge these layers but not the background, which is our UVs. Control and D to deselect, and we use this patch tool here, and this enables us with the source selected to select an area like this and then move this to select the source that we want it to copy, and then it will miraculously fix and heal these areas. I've done exactly the same for all of these. I've done the eye separate, the nose separate. We just grab this patch for instance here just to show you how that works. See, let's just go and fix this middle of the nose area here, and it's done. Just like that. We may not even want this crease in here for instance, but I'm going to leave this in here. We also have the ability to actually, before we merged it, is to duplicate an area over. What we can do, for instance, we can just say select this area here that we've just patched in, copy and paste, and it puts it on a new layer. Just move it for a second, you can see there. And then what we can do is we can go to edit, transform, flip horizontally, hold down the shift key, and it allows us to move it along this axis here. So we're able to fix it like so. Again, we'll merge the layers. Now because we made sure that we had a perfect symmetry, we could have just done one side of the face and just duplicated it over, but I'm just doing it this way just to show you these tools in action, show you just how well that they actually work. Now the patch tool doesn't work on areas like this where there's nothing there, you can see that. So in those particular circumstances you would use a different type, like a healing brush for instance. Hold the Alt key, select an area that you want to duplicate or copy from, and just patch it in there. It may not be perfect, but it gives us a starting point that we can use the other tool on. In fact, that's not too bad. Now we can go to the healing patch brush. Any areas that we don't like, we can just bring them over and it will fix them. So now we've got part of the face done now. So the warp tool, the patching tool will actually make this work. Once we're done, we hide the background and export. Now for the eyes, what I use for the eyes to get rid of the middle of the eyes is this. I use the polygonal lasso tool and I clicked around all of the actual vertices that you can see in the background with the transparency down. So I kind of clicked around all these edges, with it selected, hit the delete key. So that's how that was done. Let's just deselect that and we export this texture map. We can save as, we'll rub over the one I just previously did. Where is it? I'll have a little niggle I don't like in this Photoshop. It just doesn't remember the last thing that you've just saved. That'll do. Okay, let's go into another program now where we can apply this. So that's, where can we go? Let's go into Modo, being that we've done a lot of work in Modo before. We'll open this model that we've UV'd, and I nicely put this in the desktop because I know there's not a lot on there. So there's this face that we've got. Select it, items mode, smooth it, just to show you the reasons why we choose to unwrap it this way, this smoother way. That when we actually make our image, it's easier to patch in Photoshop, much easier, and we're able to get much more accurate results. You see there's a little bit of bleeding on the edge there. That's something that we can fix in Photoshop. In fact, those kind of things like that, we wouldn't even leave a white area even surrounded in there, but you can see just how well that it's actually done this. It's really created a nice texture map for us. If we go back into Photoshop, what I would do is I would, with this layer, make sure that I would select a sample from the skin, say that kind of dark colour, and I'll select a new layer. It will enable you to actually just paint on the inside of the eyes there. Gotta be careful that we don't go over and lose any detail. I'm doing this quick as I can though.
Hello, darling.
There we go.
Can you go to bed, please?
There we go. We're just smoothing over these edges here now. This kind of work really can't be rushed.
That's okay.
You can't rush this kind of work. It has to be done with finesse and with time. I'm going to just go ahead and merge these layers now. And then what you've done to one, you can copy to the other. That's just, for instance, we view this actual pixels. We fit on screen for the minute. We can use a different selection, a rectangular selection. Select it so it's right down the middle.
Do you want to move?
Copy, paste. Imagine this was the whole face that we had. I didn't actually want it to come back at a different place like this. A little bit annoying. Edit, transform, flip horizontally. We're going to have to just eyeball this to the other side.
Which the place is thermometers. Get out of bed.
select this other layer, take the opacity down. Very important we take this opacity down. We take the opacity down also of this layer, so we can match it up. That's not bad. Let's bring the opacity up. Both layers.
You have to do a job. What job do I have to do?
Select both these layers.
I'm not doing your room.
Merge them.
No. You're an artist.
We deselect everything. You don't have to play in here.
Get out. You've been told.
Yes, get up there.
We would just patch fix these areas. But now we have actually got at least perfect symmetry now. That's just save this out. Save over the original. When we go back into Modo, it will update. There we go. And this is even a finished fantastic model anyway. It's not even got no edges in here. Should be an extra set of edges going in like that, so it's not even a complete finished model. But you can see how this patchwork is working particularly well. We just go and select this image map, change the gamma to 0.6, where it brings back all its density back. Let's go back into Adobe Photoshop for a minute. I believe it's actually applied here. Let's just save that back out, shall we? I left the wire on. That should disappear in a second. It will update itself. That's create a copy of this. Why it's done that, I don't know. That's duplicate what we've got here now. Layer, duplicate layer. We'll turn off that one, but we want to just alter this one. So for this, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to adjustments and desaturate. Then I'm going to go to emphasize on the detailing. And levels is probably a good one to use for this. Let's just export this, save as, call this bump. And we'll call this the end of the recording. Bump map. Back into Modo. Image, load, bump. And once this loads in, we'll drag and drop this on there and apply it as a bump. Bump, effect, that's bump. It's quite heavy at the moment, see there. It's extremely heavy at the moment. Probably need about 30%. Certainly not 100.
Oh no. Again.
There we go, render.
Bring down it when it darkens.
Now I've got the textures applied. Obviously there's loads of settings that need to be set up for this. We need to have a much larger roughness on it, much less specular, maybe a bit of surface scattering. And a HDR image or something like that. But even just putting that subsurface scattering on very quickly like that, you can see that it's made a big difference to the realism of the skin. Got a bit of bump going on there. There we go. I'll call it at that.